Ask Abby, providing answers, insights, and education designed to give you the tools and knowledge you need to thrive financially and live confidently in retirement.
And welcome into the program, Go Ask Abby with Abby Reed of the retirement family at Reed Financial Group. If you've got questions or concerns about your financial investment or retirement planning, you are always welcome to be in touch. You can give a call to the retirement family and Abby Reed at 678-442-0255, or you can go online, goaskabby.com is just one of the places you can find Abby Reed and the retirement family online. Goaskabby.com. Now, Abby, I like checklists. They help me remember important things that I need to do. You've got a fantastic checklist of 10 steps to prepare for retirement.
Yes, I'm the same way, Peter. Checklists are my favorite. I would like to have a checklist for everything, just so I can go through it, check it off, feel accomplished, and then go back to it if I need to. So we've developed this checklist for one of the most important decisions in life, and that's preparing for retirement. So we're going to go through these one by one, talk a little bit about each one, and then we're going to make this checklist available for anybody that thinks that it'll be useful. And then we can also go through it one by one together, if that would be helpful. If you need a little bit of extra help in any of these areas, that's what we do. That's what we're here for, and that's what we specialize in.
That's why they are such an excellent resource, ladies and gentlemen, to get that plan put together, to go through the steps that are critical for a confident, secure financial and retirement future. I absolutely agree, especially at the grocery store, Abby, need to have that checklist or else I forget something. Now, if I forget something at the grocery store, well, it's inconvenient, but I can make a trip back. If I forget one of these steps in moving to retirement, that could really impact my entire lifestyle, the trajectory of financial well-being and confidence. So let's move through these 10 steps to be prepared for retirement.
Yep, absolutely. So number 10 is the starting point, and one of the most important things that we can do, defining your budget. A lot of times what I find, especially with people that are very high achieving, they're at the top of their fields, they have a fantastic income. They don't necessarily know what their budget is. They don't necessarily know what they're spending every month. And sometimes when I say the word budget, they like kind of react. I can see them react in a way where they're like, no, don't make me do a budget. But it's essential. It's essential to know what you want to spend every month and every year in retirement. And in order to do that, we've got to figure out at least a ballpark of what you're spending today. So take a look at your monthly expenses, what you're spending in each category, not to go on a very strict budget and restrict yourself, but we've got to know what you want to bring in retirement so you can continue to live the lifestyle that you want to live. So that's a really important step. Number 2 is going to be, number 9, we're going to go in descending order here. Define your sources of guaranteed income. So we've got your expenses ballpark calculated at least. Now let's look at your guaranteed income. Do you have pensions? What's your Social Security going to be? Those type things. Do you have lifetime income from an annuity? Those are the guaranteed income sources that we're going to look at. So we'll quantify those. And then that will lead us to number 8. What is the income gap? So between your expenses or your monthly basically what you want to spend in a month, we'll call it that instead of a budget, and what you have guaranteed coming in, the gap there is going to be the retirement income gap is what we call it. So that's going to be the difference between expenses and guaranteed income. Number 7 is strategize on Social Security. This is one of the most important decisions that we can make in retirement. Social Security is often one of the largest resources in retirement, and it is even more so if you can maximize that lifetime benefit for you and, if applicable, you and your spouse. It becomes more and more important if you are married to figure out a way to claim that incorporates both of those retirement benefits at the same time. Oftentimes you want to claim one a little bit earlier and maybe delay one. It just depends. So we want to strategize on the most efficient way to maximize Social Security. Number 6, formulate an income plan. So once we've strategized on Social Security and what we want to do as far as claiming strategies, let's kind of pull the other pieces together and figure out how we're going to meet the rest of that income gap using other assets, using your savings, your investments, IRAs, 401ks, those type things, and really put together a blueprint, a written income plan that you can take home with you and that you can refer back to figure out how are we meeting these monthly expenses every year, not only right now, but 10, 20 years down the road.
Well, we've been through the first 5 of these 10 steps to prepare for retirement. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is a resource available to you. You can get this list of these 10 steps to prepare for retirement to go over on your own time if you'd like, or just to reflect on your answers so that you know what you need to address in your discussions with your financial professional and in your guidance. So if you'd like this list of the 10 steps to prepare, give a call to Abby Reed and the Reed Financial Group for the Retirement Family, 678-442-0255, 678-442-0255, or visit goaskabby.com. You can request it there. Just drop your name and the 10 steps to prepare in the contact form as your request. All right, Abby, 5 down, 5 more to go in our list of the 10 steps to prepare for retirement.
Right, Peter. I would say that the first 5 steps are most often overlooked and not necessarily considered. It's sometimes simplified as, well, it's best to start Social Security at 70. Delay it as long as possible. Take from your other assets if you have to. Those type blanket rules, because this does involve really getting into it and getting into your specific situation. It's a lot easier to have blanket recommendations like, take out 4% of your portfolio and you'll be good for retirement. Those type things are sure they're easier, but oftentimes they're missing the point and they're not personalized to your specific situation. So it's really important to get into those 5 first steps so that you make sure that you have a plan that works for you and your family. So going forward, we're going to get to number 5, and that's understanding your risk exposure. So what risks are you taking as far as market risks, any other things like that? So income, potentially survivorship income that's going to be lost. Is there some survivorship income risks? There's a lot of different risks in retirement, withdrawal rate risk, sequence of returns risk. So which of those apply to your circumstance and which ones of them are completely unnecessary? They can be taken off the table just by making some adjustments. This is also where it's very important to understand not only your risk tolerance, which is your personal preferences for how much risk you want to take, but also your portfolio's risk capacity. How much risk does there need to be in the portfolio, and how much risk needs to be taken off the table, depending on your goals. So those 2 things have to be considered at the same time. Number 4 is another type of risk. Really, it's considering taxes. So how much exposure do you have to taxes? How much are you going to have to fork out in taxes over your retirement, your entire retirement horizon? And what can be done about that to hopefully potentially reduce those taxes and obviously paying our fair share, of course, but not paying anything that you don't have to pay.
Now, Abby, at Reed Financial Group, you actually have some pretty sophisticated ability to help people not only consider, but quantify their taxes and then identify strategies to manage and minimize those taxes, correct?
That's right. And a lot of times it's a little bit of a shocker to see those numbers each year annually and then over the entire retirement, how much you're going to have to pay in taxes. It's nauseating to be quite frank, but it's the stark reality of it. And then what we can do from there, once everybody agrees that this is the reality and taxes are most likely not going down, they're going to go up, let's see what we can do now to put ourselves in an even better position in the future. And that's gonna be several different strategies depending on what's right for you. But we can quantify that, and it's all a part of that comprehensive plan, is considering taxes and how that could potentially affect you, as well as taxes on Social Security. A lot of times people, when they're making their own income plan, don't realize that most of your Social Security benefit is probably going to be taxed. And that could even go up in the future, depending on some changes with Social Security. Going on to number 3, this is really something that is very important to people, is simplifying things a little bit. So making things a little bit easier and making sure that nothing falls through the cracks down the road. And that's going to be consolidating like qualified accounts. So consolidating the accounts that can be consolidated. For example, you might have a 401k at an employer that you left, 10 years ago, and then you have your 401k at your current employer. You can roll those together potentially into an IRA or something like that. So there are ways to simplify things and consolidate these accounts so that you feel like you have things a little bit more managed. I just talked to a husband and wife the other day that was one of their top priorities, is simplifying things and consolidating accounts that could be consolidated, and getting help with that, because there are some steps and you have to make sure you're doing it properly so that you don't have a situation where you're rolling the wrong accounts into each other. But his main goal was, if something happens to me, I want her to be able to find everything. And I want it to be as simple as possible. And so that's something that is very important, is to simplify things as much as possible, getting ready for retirement. Number 2, this is on everybody's mind, is inflation. So consider inflation not only right now, but how is this going to affect every single year down the road? What impact is inflation going to have in a 30-year plan, and make sure that we are planning for not only your various income sources, but increasing income, and also making sure that you're positioned to grow your accounts in a way that will help you keep pace with inflation. That's a major red flag here, is if there's lazy money, as we call it. So we do a lazy money report for everybody that we work with. Do you have assets that are allocated to things that aren't keeping up with inflation? And if so, then there needs to be some changes there potentially. And then last but not least is number 1, review and update your legal documents. So this is very important. A lot changes over 10, 20 years, maybe the last time you looked at your will or even thought about estate planning. We don't do this in our office. So we're not lawyers, we're not estate planners, but we partner with some of the best estate planners in the country, and we can point you in the right direction. And then a lot of times what's really helpful for our clients is we can be a part of that process. So we can go through that process with you. We can be kind of your accountability partner to make sure these things are done. And then also we can answer questions and make sure that whatever lawyer you choose to work with has the information they need, so that we're all approaching this as a team, and we're not making any mistakes that could affect your beneficiaries in the future. So those are the 10 steps to preparing for retirement. This is what we help people go through. I know it seems like a lot going through this on your own, and it's quite a bit. It is as I always say, it's a full-time job to try and retire. And so that's what we're here for. We help people with this all the time. We make sure that these things are done in advance. And we encourage people to reach out to us, reach out to a retirement specialist 5 years plus before you want to retire, to make sure that when you're ready to pull that trigger, you're financially ready to do that, and you have the confidence in order to make that change and go into retirement with peace of mind.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 10 steps to prepare for retirement, easily laid out in a 1-page resource and report for you. You need to take a look at this. Go over your 10 steps and how prepared you are to make that transition into retirement. Do it on your own time. Just give a call, request the list, or you can go to goaskabby.com and drop a contact and request the list there, the report, the 10 steps to prepare for retirement. Once you've gone over this, there's a few different options. You may have satisfactory answers to these 10 questions, these 10 steps to prepare for retirement. You may want to address them on your own, Or you may want to take everything that you review and learn and reflect on in considering these 10 steps and work with a team of experienced, qualified professionals who do this every day. That is their full-time job. Since you don't want to have your own full-time job anymore, you want to prepare for retirement, walk through these 10 steps, give Abby Reed and the team from the Reed Financial Group, the Retirement Family, a call. 678-442-0255, 678-442-0255. Or again, you can always go online, goaskabby.com, goaskabby.com. Abby, always a pleasure. Thank you for the discussion and the resource of these 10 steps to prepare for retirement.
Absolutely, Peter. Thank you very much.
Here to answer your financial questions, visit the website goaskabby.com for show resources and to submit your questions and get answers, or to schedule your complimentary financial investment and retirement planning strategy session. You can also reach out to Abby directly at 678-442-0255. That's 678-442-0255, or at goaskabby.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor. BCM and Reed Financial Group are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BCM, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents. Third-party ratings and recognitions are no guarantee of future investment success and do not ensure that a client or prospective client will experience a higher level of performance or results. These ratings should not be construed as an endorsement of the advisor by any client, nor are they representative of any one client's evaluation.